Hello, welcome to RetroTech 120p challenge. What do you do in the challenge? Well, you have as many practice goes as you want, and then once you press record, that is your go. You have 2 credits, see how far you get. You can't continue in this one, but it's got levels in it. So yeah, it is a 1983 game that was released, developed and released in Japan by Sun Electronics, who would later go on to become Sunsoft, who you might know from, like Batman on the NES, Gremlins. Did loads of really good music on the NES, didn't they? And then, yeah, they continued on, I think, like Super Nintendo. And what do they do these days? I don't know. I should have looked that up. But yeah, this came out in 1983. In the West, it was released by Atari. And it came out on the Famicom, which is the Japanese Nintendo, of course, under the name Super Arabian. And it did have a home computer release. Interceptor Software released a game called Tales of Arabian Nights for the BBC Micro, the Electron, the Amstrad, the Commodore 64 and the Spectrum in 1984 and 1985 respectively. If you wanted to play it these days, obviously there's a way I'm doing it on a cheeky hard drive. But yeah, you can also download it from Arcade Archives. It was on a PS1 disc called Memorial Series Sunsoft Volume 1. And on the Evercade, it's come out on there as well. What do you do in this? Well, you're this little Arabian fella, and his missus has been kidnapped, as characters of that era were known to do, have their wives, girlfriends, and other princesses and others kidnapped. And yeah, you have to go through 4 stages to try and rescue her, and then once you've rescued her, you start over again. And the idea is that you go through these stages kicking these sort of weird dragony things and crows and genies in the face while trying to make your way up the screen. But also you're supposed to collect these letters. Now you can collect them in any order, but if you collect them to spell the word Arabian, it will give you extra points. I don't think I got to a point where those extra points gave me an extra life. It might have done. I don't think it did though. And this level, by the way, is a complete sod. You're on these magic carpets, but it's a game that unfortunately which probably suited the home computers quite well. Why? Because it's up to jump, and these magic carpets are very hard to negotiate pressing up to jump. So if you are going to do the challenge, what I probably would suggest is perhaps if you allocate the up on your controller to another button, maybe, although then you'd have to use up to also climb the rope, so maybe don't do that and just stick with pressing up. Yes. No idea why the crows are attacking you. Are they the crows of the Grand Vizier or something? I don't know. Who knows these things? So what I'm going to talk about now is we're going to do Genital Facts of the Week. And I'm actually going to talk, and I'm very cautious about doing this. But yeah, I'm going to speak about the ancient Arabian world. Because we always think that, due to Islam, that, things aren't quite healthy in the Arabian states. Persian states as they were then. Yeah, there's... And I'm must admit, I've got this all from a website, so blame them, not me, about what I'm about to say. So apparently in the pre-Islamic era, they were quite the randy set of buggers. So fornication was described in an ancient text called the Book of Choice Narratives, which is a bloody good name for a book if you ask me, as when a man sets himself between a woman's forelimbs until he exhausts himself. Now, can you think of a more verbose and more definitive explanation of what it's like to make the beast with 2 backs? I certainly can't. So I've got a pointer for you. We all know of obviously from the Quran of the heavenly paradise, and you obviously get the virginal companions. Well, we've not got the full story there, because apparently when a man sleeps with a woman, her virginity is restored in paradise. which is bizarre to me because surely it's gone, because that's the whole idea of losing your virginity, isn't it? But anyway, apparently these companions have the eyes of a gazelle. They are described, their name is basically Huris, or Auris. Auris, it's probably Auris, it's spelled Aura, is. So I'm going to say Auris. Yes, nothing like a bit of research, is there? In the Abbasid era, there was an infatuation, surprisingly, with pubescent boys. Poetry manifested fantasies of young princes and other high-profile teen chaps. When asked about why he prefers young boys to women, poet Abu Muslim al-Khorasani replied, "Boys do not menstruate." I mean, he's not telling any lies there, is he? But perhaps the most amazing thing that I saw was there was a chap who authored a book which was sort of like a precursor to the Kama Sutra, a Persian Kama Sutra, if you like, called, what's the name of the book? I've got it written down here. The Garden of Sensual Delight. No, sorry, The Perfumed Garden of Sensual Delight. That's a name. I know I said about, was it the Book of Choice Narratives, but The Perfumed Garden of Sensual Delight. But he, and his name is Muhammad ibn Muhammad al-Nafzawi, as I lose my first credit there. And he described the perfect woman as such. And be prepared, this is quite the laundry list of what this particular chap likes in a woman. Alright? So I'm going to describe it now. In order that a woman be relished by men, she must have a perfect waist, plump and lusty. Her hair will be black, her forehead wide. She will have eyebrows of Ethiopian blackness, right? Large black eyes with whites in them, very limpid. With cheeks of a perfect oval, she will have an elegant nose and a graceful mouth. Lips and tongue vermilion. Her breath will be a pleasant odour. Her throat long. Her neck strong. Her bust and belly large. The breasts must be full and firm. Her belly in good proportion. Her navel well developed and marked. Of course, it has to be marked. The lower part of the belly is to be large. He's a real belly guy, this guy. Belly dancing? Possibly. The vulva, yep, we're there, projecting and fleshy from the point where the hairs grow to the buttocks. The conduit must be narrow and not moist. There's nothing worse than a moist conduit. Soft to the touch. Still talking about the vulva, I'm presuming. And emitting a strong heat and no bad smell. She must have thighs and buttocks hard, the hips large and full, a waist of fine shape, hands and feet of striking elegance, plump arms and well-developed shoulders. And that is how that band describes his ideal woman. So that's fascinating, isn't it? I wonder if you put that on ancient Persian Tinder and how many responses he got. It was almost incel-like, wasn't it? She's got to have all these things, otherwise I'm not going there. You may well have a full belly and a conduit that has no bad smell but a strong heat, but I'm afraid your feet and your arms, only medium elegance, not striking at all. I barely noticed them. Yeah, so there you go. There's your Genital Facts of the week. An insight into ancient Arabic sexual fantasies. Who says that I don't teach you anything here? Do I teach you anything worthwhile? No, I do not. Yes, and we're back on this level again, and this level is can go suck a winkle, because it It's so frustratingly long and arduous to get through. You have to take your time with it. Take your time, as Jim Bowen once said, who doesn't say that anymore. He's never played Arabian, but he did tell you that during Bullseye, and perhaps you should have listened. What am I going to be doing on the channel? Well, blimey, Charlie. What is coming up? Bloody hell, I can't remember. There's something coming up. Oh, yeah, this week, one of the worst kart races in the history of the genre. There was a PlayStation 1 game based on that irritating little Twitteroo Woody Woodpecker. And it's something that I saw in the screenshots. I was like, that looks pretty cool. It's got like curved tracks. It looks a bit Daytona-y, but with like cartoon characters in. I play that, and it's hideous. It is a hideous kart racer. So if you like me being upset at things, as much as everyone was upset with me with last week's, I can't spell Arabian, with last week's challenge. Don't worry, you had your vengeance just via a different game, because I was not impressed by Woody Woodpecker Racing, as you will find out this week. The following week, I'm getting on the old bandwagon, the wagon of the band. I wonder actually anyone talks about actual bandwagons as in the original meaning of the term, and did a lot of people get on them? I presume so. But yes, I'll be talking about Return to Oz, because there is a Wizard of Oz film coming out in 2 weeks' time, based on Wicked. And there was, and I had no idea that this existed, there was a Spectrum Amstrad and Commodore 64 game based on the Return to Oz movie from 1986. You know, the one that had Faurizia Balk in the Judy Garland role. So yeah, there's that. And then the week after, I'm doing it's Survivor Series in the WWE, so I'm going to do a wrestling video, as I'm known to do when the big four come up. And this time I'm going on to the PS2, and I'm going to be doing Crush Hour. And Crush Hour is very interesting, because Crush Hour basically presents a world where Vince McMahon has taken over. And Vince McMahon has been in the news a lot. He had his Netflix show. You know about that, if you know about that. And I did it. I did section 1. Yay, aren't I clever? No, not really. But yeah, in a world where by the time this is recorded, Donald Trump could be president, the idea of him giving of giving Vince McMahon control of the entire TV networks isn't completely out of the question, because it's quite friendly with him. And get Musk to take over their supposed free speech on Twitter, and then get Vince McMahon to take on TV. He's away, isn't he? So yeah, there's that. And then after that, I think we're in the Christmas videos, and I've done nearly all of them already, believe it or not. I've nearly done all my Christmas videos. Watch this, by the way. I kicked this genie in the bum, and he's like, kick me in the bum, will you? I'll throw candy floss at you, you get. And he killed me. Swine. Yeah, when you go do the second run round, they mix up the letters a bit more, so you actually have to kind of put a bit of effort into it. Oh, that's another weird thing about this game, is when like two creatures of the same type meet each other, they sort of morph into one big creature. They're pretty creepy, those dragon things, because they meld together and they sort of form out of the ground like something like an alien symbiote in Spider-Man or something. Horrible things they are. Bloody horrible. But yeah, the Christmas video I'm going, and I'm only doing this because I've got so much time this week on this challenge. It's the complete opposite to last week. Sorry, I just inhaled and belched at the same time. But yeah, I'm doing basically sort of Nintendo handheld games of the 2000s that were based on Christmas movies. There's quite a lot, actually. So I'm doing 4 of them, and then after that, we're way into at the end of December then, and I'm not going to show all my cards to you. So we'll talk about them when we get there. But yes, have a look at the other videos that other people are doing as well. See how far they get. They might well get further than me. And also, you know, you can always take part yourself. It's quite easy to make these videos. You know, if you've ever wanted a hobby in doing YouTube, it's alright. I get paid for it these days, which is nice. Maybe you can too. It'd be good to get paid to do your hobby. You won't get paid very much. Even like the big ones. The reason like all the big ones have got like Patreons and stuff like that, is they don't get paid hardly anything. YouTube is not there to make you money. It is there to make itself money. And quite rightly so. Says the capitalist in me. Anyway, look, I'm dead. I'm dead. So yeah, that's the end of my go. And thank you very much for joining me. And I will see you soon. Until then, like, subscribe, and thanks, bye.